It is getting harder and harder for people on Social Security. Baby boomers living on $1,000 a month on Social Security and are struggling just to get by. Also, a new hearing in Congress about Social Security.
That I think that we could resolve this if we had that kind of conversation with the American people. We could do what has been done in '83. And we could take your bill and others and put them together and really resolve this for the American people. I can tell you that.
I'll play the full video clip of what is being said there, and a new COLA announcement for 2025. I'll let you know what the latest COLA forecast is and give you some other important updates as well. Before I dive into the main content, if you appreciate these Social Security updates, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more Social Security updates. So, baby boomers living on $1,000 a month in Social Security share their retirement experience, saying, "I never imagined being in this position." So, Retirement Income Institute found over half of baby boomers had less than $250,000 in assets. With limited savings, many older adults are dependent on just more than $1,000 monthly in Social Security, and for many, Social Security income is insufficient to cover groceries, healthcare, and bills. Comment down below if you're in this situation as well. So Virginia Hambrick, 66, is retired but worried she'll have to return to work. Her savings are long gone and her $1,625 monthly Social Security check isn't nearly enough to support her and her husband's expenses. So the couple lives in a rural area about 50 miles outside of Tulsa, Oklahoma. And that's not enough. Basically going through her situation, saying how hard it is. And then in a Northwestern Mutual survey, U.S. adults said they expected to need about $1.5 million to live comfortably to retire, and that number could be higher if you live in a high-cost living city. But there's a disconnect. An April report from the Retirement Income Institute, the retirement-focused research arm of Alliance for Lifetime Income, found that 52% of baby boomers had $250,000 or less in retirement assets, and the Census Bureau's current population survey found that more than half of Americans over 65 had an annual income of $30,000 or less. This pushes some older adults close to federal poverty line. So, the survey said that you need about $1.5 million to comfortably retire, but it turns out that most have $250,000 or less. Let us know down in the comments below if you are struggling in this situation as well. It seems that there is just not enough being done for people in Social Security, retirees, SSI, SSDI. There has been over 50 years before a major change has been done to Social Security. Now, Congress is talking about it, but they're not doing enough. When there is some updates and forecasts, like a COLA update, like the 2025 Social Security Cost of Living Adjustment forecast just changed, and it could pleasantly surprise many retirees. I'll go over that article, let you know the latest forecast, but first take a listen to what is being said in Congress.
Gentleman from Pennsylvania, Mr. Smoker, you're now recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I refer to something Mr. Larson said. I'm not even sure where to start here. There's a lot to talk about. This has been a great conversation. A few things I want to mention, I think. Mr. Goss, you had responded in an answer to a question from Mr. Kustoff about the commission or the deal in '83 and talked very positively about that, really people coming together and resolving this, putting everything on the table and making it solvent for years to come. We could do that again, right? And we should do that.
Absolutely. We're much looking forward to that.
Yeah, and I'd like to suggest to Mr. Larson and others who I think are sincere about the desire to fix Social Security, there's a difference between proposing a bill that doesn't go anywhere and having a real bipartisan discussion about resolving this. And so I guess I'd like to suggest the fiscal commission that we had recommended that looks at both debt and Social Security really is an attempt to do that. And I know you've spoken out.
Would the gentleman yield?
Let me finish my sentence, and I'll be happy to. I know you've spoken out against that, and you know, I'm telling you in all sincerity that I think that we could resolve this if we had that kind of conversation with the American people. We could do what has been done in '83, and we could take your bill and others and put them together and really resolve this for the American people. I can tell you that I'm certainly interested in doing that. People on our side are interested in doing that, and we're willing to put everything on the table. And so, yes, I'll yield.
So what is it you're putting on the table, number one? And there are many Social Security proposals that exist out there, not just Social Security 2100. But also, there's a big difference between the Greenspan Commission and the commission that was proposed behind closed doors with only a select group of people with a decision that would require only an up or down vote. That is, that's not a democratic, let's sort through this, let's have this exposed to the public, let's go through this, and let's put all those discussions on the table. And I totally agree with you that people like yourself and others are very sincere about this, except the proof is in the pudding.
So and I'll take my time because I'd love to get to a lot more here, but I would love to continue to have that discussion. I would love to not just get a no on that, because I can tell you we're sincere about it, and we could put everything on the table to try to solve this. I do want to, on your point on the debt, so very briefly so that people understand this, initially when Social Security was put in place, we were taking in more money coming in than was going out, correct? When did that change? When did Social Security no longer begin to receive more money annually than they were paying out? Mr. Goss?
Well, most recently, that has occurred in 2010. It was expected to be in 2020 at the time of the 83 amendments, but because of some of the changes
since 2010, we've been paying out more than we've been taking in.
Exactly.
And within 9 years, the difference, the trust, which was the difference that has been accumulating over time, that has been borrowed and is being paid back, in 9 years, that expires, right? That is gone. We no longer have excess funds. Am I right on that?
On a combined basis, maybe 10 years,
so
on that order.
So at that point, unless something changes, people will no longer get all of their Social Security benefits because we don't have money to pay it, correct?
Under current law, we cannot pay what's not in the fund.
Or if at that time Congress decides to make it up by taking on additional debt, that's a choice we could make, right? We could continue to pay benefits if nothing has changed by taking on additional debt and paying for those benefits.
Unprecedented, but anything is possible.
But at that point, it would add to the debt, right?
If Congress were to change the law and say that we will borrow from the public in order
The only point I'm making, and I'd love to have more conversation about this publicly, that's why we need a commission to talk about this, is that this will contribute. There's a fundamental problem. We have far less workers than we do retirees. That ratio is far different. And so we need more workers. By the way, I agree with Ms. Sanchez, who I don't often agree with, on immigration. It is something that's a partial solution here. We need a lot more workers. We should be talking about legal immigration. But it's a great conversation. I wish others would agree that we need to continue to have this conversation. This is how I think a commission could work. We would take this conversation across America. We would begin to have a real understanding of the facts and how they exist. We just can't have that conversation in 5 minutes each here. I only get 4 if I give some to you, but I'd love to continue this conversation. But thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your indulgence.
What are your thoughts on that? Latest hearing going on in Congress. Next, let's go over the COLA adjustment. So it looks like retirees who started Social Security in the year 2000 have lost 36% of their buying power, and the Federal Reserve isn't as confident inflation is coming down, which could mean COLA estimates will increase. So what is the latest with that? So Social Security, so about half of households with someone age 65 or older receive at least 50% of the income from the program, according to data collected by the Social Security Administration. So following the most recent Consumer Price Index reading from May, the Senior Citizen League updated its forecast. It now expects seniors will get a 2.57% bump in their Social Security checks next year. That's down from the outlook of 2.66%, which was from the month before, and well below the 3.2%, which is the COLA for this year. So it looks like we're at a 2.57% COLA, which doesn't make sense because inflation is still high. Everything is still expensive, but yet the COLA keeps going down, mainly because they're going off of the CPIW instead of the CPIE. So there are a few bills and they are trying to change the COLA adjustment so that it will be higher, but looks like the latest is 2.57% for COLA, which I don't think is anywhere near enough of what it should be. But anyways, that is all the news that I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, it's Bella tip of the day. I want to tell you the one thing that you should do. Do the things that scare you the most, because after you do that, you become a better person. Bye.
If you want to see the latest changes to SSI and how there could be a $1,415 payment, you're not going to want to miss this video over here. So click that video now and I'll give you all those updates and I'll see you in that video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.